Welcome back, everyone. So when we left off in the previous video, I think I had done the undercoating and cleaned out all the sand from in there and just started getting things prepared for the next stage, and that is reassembly. But before I did any of that, before we do any reassembly, we have to replace, there's a leaking gasket right there in the exhaust, and it's easy to get to when things are apart like this. Makes it a lot easier. So I've already gotten the nuts off of that, off that flange. And now all I gotta do is finish removing them from the catalytic converter. Those right there, you see those? So what I'm doing is I actually went out and I bought a cheap impact gun. This is a $47 Cobalt rated for 400 foot-pounds. And we're gonna see if it makes the job a little easier, because I was really working my shoulder in ways I never thought intended. And we're gonna try this to finish the job. Unfortunately, do I have a swivel? Let's see. Oh, sorry, we got a 1/2 inch reducer to a 3/8 to a swivel head to a very low quality 14 mil socket. Again, don't do this at home. This is how you break sockets and extensions. Make sure we're going in the right direction. Okay, here we go. Alright, it took the whole stud out. That was unintended, but that's alright. It's not the end of the road. Let's get the other one. Actually, that can make the job a little easier because it'll just drop out, rather than make me have to manhandle the son of a bitch during reassembly. Yeah. Let's get that on there. Oh. Okay, make sure it's on. I think it's on. Here we go. Let the compressor have a little break. Okay. What happened? This is what we got. So while this gasket doesn't look really bad, it doesn't, honestly. I don't see the telltale signs of soot outside of this sealing ring, but it definitely wasn't long for this world. So I don't think that one was leaking, but I'm not going to do the front one and not do the rear. Okay, newsflash. That bolt doesn't have to come out. Actually, it's easier. Easier than that. I've never done this on a Miata before. The last exhaust I ever worked on was a 1987 Nissan D21 pickup. Very different machine. This bolt comes out from the clamp. But anyway, yeah, we were leaking. Look at this. See this right here, these little black marks? That's soot. What that means is soot finding its way past this. Let's take a look at the seal. So I wasn't full of shit after all. See how the seal is black right here? That's a key indicator that there was a leak, and for probably quite some time. Oh yeah, look at that. Burned right through. So this gasket was definitely junk. Flanges look pretty good, as they're going to be. So this wasn't wasted effort for sure. One of the things I don't like to do is I'm working on a project like this car, and then I start going off on tangents, and I try to find things wrong and fix them. And sometimes I'm wrong. Sometimes the stuff that I find isn't really broken after I take it all apart, and I'm pretty much committed. Now, real important, we're going to put that bolt back, but I want to take a look at our catalytic converter. See, once you get that catalytic converter exposed, look at this pipe though. Sweet. You can clean this up. You can clean that up with a wire wheel. Make it nice and smooth again. Catalytic converter. Now that we have it all exposed, we can get a good look at her and see if there's any issues with the honeycomb. And this bolt, by the way, we can reuse this. We're going to clean this up with a wire wheel once again. All right, camera's going to go upside down so I can see the screen. We're going to look inside there. Look inside my cat. Look at that. It's beautiful. No cracks. No degradation. I mean, that's subjective. Okay, let's take a look at our kitty cat. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at the honeycomb and check it for any breakage, any blockages. If you see like a buildup of blackness in there, that could be a clog. But thus far, it looks like a good, healthy catalytic converter. Yeah, I don't see any issues. There are no cracks in the honeycomb. Not bad. Not bad at all. Zoom in a little bit, we can actually see the matrix a little better. Too far? Well, that's a load off my back. I was actually kind of worried about that. Because you never know. Now, underneath the engine, see this right here? That's a rear main seal leak. All that means is when the clutch is ready to be replaced, the rear main seal gets replaced at the same time. That's all that means. It doesn't mean we have to go and do it right now. It just means when the clutch is bad, we're going to do a rear main. It's easy to do when you got a clutch removal going on. Now, oh, if you're wondering if your transmission's ever been swapped out, you got a VIN tag on there. JM1NA3. Let's look at the last 0508500. 0508500. If you've ever heard the term numbers matching when referring to an antique car, and 0508500. That's the serial number is the last couple of digits. That just means it is the original trans. So it's never been replaced. Probably never been out of the car. We're going to clean the flange up a little bit on this downpipe. Nice shiny clean metal on that sucker. So when you put the new gasket on, it doesn't leak. Should be okay. Look at the other side. A lot nicer So what do we do about this? Well, based on what I'm seeing here, the threads on the catalytic converter side they're obliterated. So what we're going to do is I'm going to have to replace these with bolts. I'm going to have to drill out the flanges in both the catalytic and the downpipe. We'll have to drill them out, and then we'll just go ahead and get a set of bolts, grade 8, which is the strongest you can buy at the hardware store. Probably zinc coated or something. And we'll put those in place of these studs. So the studs are actually threaded into the catalytic converter, and the nut goes on the other end. The real challenge is I'd have to find a proper nut and bolt that would lock really nicely. So I just got the new gasket for the manifold side. This turned out to be an OEM gasket that they sent me. I bought this from Parts Geek. Like everything else I put on this car. And it's not that I find them to be the best or anything, but so far they've had everything I've needed, and the prices have been reasonable. Where they really get you, though, is shipping. So just like any part supply house that you order from, you want to try to combine as many items as you can into one shipment. That's how you you game the system, so to speak. So I'm going to take a look. We're going to take a look at this flange gasket, and we're going to compare it to the old one. Be really careful. So this gasket appears to be made from maybe aluminum. Looks like 2 layers of aluminum. That's what I'm thinking. And the original one was more of the same, just compressed down. See, aluminum is soft. Aluminum makes for great gaskets because it's soft and it can be compressed. But you can see it's the same material. The original one, like I said, it actually had been breached right here. This is what this dark spot is. That's a breach. So it's been leaking from that point, possibly leaking over here. Yeah, so definitely end of life. After so many heat cycles, that's what kills them. So there's nothing in between, no compressible material. That's why you want to make sure that the surface is clean and smooth, which it is on both sides. I should be able to set this in place. I believe this tab hung out this way, so it goes on like this. And we're just going to let the threads hold that in place. And then I'm going to take the exhaust pipe and I'm going to put it back. Just like that. Alright. Wish me luck. I'm going to need it. I'm getting up. I'm going under. I'm going under. I think I got everything I need for the most part. Had my 14mm, oh there it is, with a swivel on it. Oh. Ugh. Okay. So I've got to muscle this exhaust pipe into position. Somehow. There we are. Come on now. Oh. There we are. So that's where it's going to live. We'll get some nuts started on there. The ones that we can get from this side, we'll do those two first. This is where it pays to have a good set of extensions and swivels because there's no other way, really, to do the job. It just can't be done. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a screwdriver and I'm going to throw it into the flange down here so that the height is roughly where I need it to be. This way we're not stressing out the bolts and such. Here, we can just kind of prop it up like that. See? Like that. Look at all the whirl marks in this car. Some of them are new and only happened as a result of some of the work I've been doing. No, really. I've just being in this garage in these tight quarters has really caused great harm to the paint. So we're gonna, as I said before, this is the year I think we get this car properly and professionally detailed so that we don't have to look at it anymore. So I'm going to bring it to a detailer this year, maybe in the spring, and yeah, and that'll take care of that. Gosh darn it the heck. If I were Midwestern, that's what I would say. But I'm from New England and I say things that I can't say on the air, on the YouTubes. It's a safe space now, don't you know? We're not going to torque anything down just yet. I want to get all three nuts have to be snug in order to go that step forward, you know what I'm saying? Come with me and you'll see the tightest working conditions underneath this Japanese roadster. Oh, here we are. You see what we gotta do? I can't really. Am I zoomed in here? Okay, zoomed out. See that little stud there? I gotta weasel my tiny little hands all the way up in here and get that nut off. That would be a really awesome time to suffer like a stroke or something, or a seizure, or even a heart attack. Yeah? Come on. I can't turn my fingers. I gotta get it started on there first. I'm actually using the camera as a... I can only see my fingers through the camera's viewfinder. I think I got... Nope. I think I can. I got... There we go. Oh. I can't see what I'm doing. Oh, there we go. Here's my fingertips. You see it? Come on, you bitch. There we go. Just get it started with my finger. There we are. Oh, yes. Yes! Alrighty. Okay. There. Now, let's take a look at this leak here. Now, I've been pondering about this leak for some time. It's not soaked. Look at this. It's just this. It's just seeping out of here. It's supposed to be a weep hole. Maybe that's it. And let me smell it. It's either gear oil or... It smells like engine oil. So, I'm not worried about it. But you can see how it's coming down and it's going past this way, but it's not like saturated. It's just a little punky. Not a big deal. Motor mounts, they don't look too bad. Everything looks pretty right and solid under this car. Yeah, not much to write home about. There's a power plant frame. This is what makes the Miata. This power plant frame. It's a solid, well, it's perforated, but it's a steel, or no, I think it's aluminum brace that connects the tail end of the transmission all the way to the rear end. And that is what makes these cars handle so well. We're gonna have to drill these holes out very, very carefully, but that has to happen. So I'm not gonna do too much to. Well, anyway, let's just one baby step at a time. I just want to get that flange installed so I can move forward. Okay, I torqued them all to 35 pounds. Having even torque on that flange is critical, and the right torque is probably even more critical. So that's probably the worst of it. The next thing I got to do is I bought new bolts for the flange, and what we're going to do. This is a very common thing to do to one of these cars, and just get this. I want to get this back in there. But replacing the studs on the stock catalytic converter with through bolts is pretty much par for the course. And so I went over to my local hardware store, the little mom and pop, owned by the Lowe's family, and they had exactly what I was looking for. Okay, so I put that clamp bolt back on before I forgot. So these are, I believe, grade 8. Class 8.8, whatever that means. These are metric, so it could be a different classification system, but whatever. These are going to replace the original studs. They should fit right in to the flange. And I'm going to drill out the flange holes on the catalytic converter side to fit this. Okay, so here's where we're at. I've drilled the holes out for a 3/8 bolt, but 3/8 is just a hair smaller than 10 millimeter apparently, so I can't get the bolts through that. My next drill size up is 1/2 inch, and I do not want to drill them out that much. So where is all this oil coming from anyway? It could be the drain plug. I'm sorry, the fill plug. It looks like that might have been leaking for a long time. I might take that off. Actually, it would be a bad idea right now because oil would come out of it. But I might take that off and clean up the threads and put some new thread sealer on it. That could be where all this is coming from, actually. That stupid fill plug. You can see where it's actually, because oil tends to creep, and it's creeping upward. It saturates the surface. I might have to take that fill plug off and put some thread sealer on it for sure. Maybe I'll do that now. This is OD PTFE thread seal. That should do the trick. And I'm going to top off the transmission a little. I think it might be running a little low from what was leaking out. Put this back in. Bada boom, bada bing. Okay, ow! What did I just... So what I've done, besides making a mess, I have gone ahead and I realized I did add a little bit of oil to the trans, but not much. I don't think it's leaked out enough to cause a problem. But what I've done, if I can weasel my way under there, is I've gone ahead and cleaned up the surface under the transmission. I've resealed the fill cap, wherever that is. There's the bell housing. Okay, the fill cap should be right over here somewhere. Anyway, I've sealed it up. Oh, there it is. I can get to it. See it? cleaned the area around the fill cap, and we're going to keep an eye on it and just see where the oil's coming from. Now, there's a weep hole in the bell housing. Let's see if I can find that on the camera here. It should be right about, oh, it's up in the front. See if I can get it. There it is. So, reference point. There's the oil pan. Look up, 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 up. There it is. Now that is the weep hole. You fuck. Alright. That's the weep hole for the rear main seal. And if anything's leaking out of there, you've got a leaky rear main. Now, I wouldn't be shocked on a car like this, but hey, what I can tell you is if it is leaking engine oil, the rate of leakage is so low that in 3,000 miles you don't really see it on the dipstick. But it's more of an annoyance. So it's not a gusher. I'm not too concerned, and honestly, I'm going to wait until it needs a clutch before I fix that. Now, a lot of that oil could be from the leaky oil plug, the fill plug. So we're gonna find out. The tail shaft seems to be happy. I don't see anything there. So this car had bottomed out at some point on the catalytic converter, which, you know, it's unfortunate, but didn't seem to break anything. And you can see right here, look at this frame rail on the bottom. It's kind of caved in a bit. It's solid metal, it's not rusty or anything. But this is very common on Miatas. These get crushed a lot on speed bumps. So, they make a kit. This is so common of a problem, but they actually sell a kit that will encompass these rails. I don't think I need it, but, you know, I've seen them far worse. But yeah, these get bashed pretty badly throughout the daily course of life, and that's just a trait of the Miata. Put this aside. I really should, though. I should actually get the car up on 4 jack stands, and I should check the trans fluid level. That could be running a little low. I wouldn't rule that out right now. I gotta shut this heater off. And yeah, we want to definitely take a look at that. Just make sure it's on the up and up. Yeah, because low transmission fluid on a manual transmission can go undetected until the thing locks up. That is a true statement. Because there's no dipstick. There's no, like on an automatic, if you're running low on fluid, the transmission can slip. That's not true for a manual. On a manual, you won't know until it's a big problem. But there's no way we lost more than, you know, a fraction of a quart of oil in just. So just for reference, that oil was changed at the dealer probably 5,000 miles ago. No, a little longer, probably about 6,000 or 7,000 miles ago. And it's good for what, 80,000? So, yeah, I think we're good. That's the trans oil. And just so you know, I actually am using the Miata's best friend. This is a Motorcraft oil, full synthetic Motorcraft. That's what I'm using in there. That's what everybody seems to recommend. So, seems to work okay. Synchros seem pretty happy and healthy. But with a manual transmission, you're going to find that it'll shift really rough. I think as it's starting to get low, as the synchros start to dry up, you can get all kinds of weirdness. So, fun. Okay, next day we got these. These are the new splash guards, front and rear. These are going to replace, these are actually universal splash guards that the previous owner put on the car. Yeah, these are not a good fit. And they've been on the car for a long time, probably most of its life. But I don't really go for universal fit. These are custom fit for the MX-5. They're made by, I got these at Mazda Miata, and they ran, I think they were about $100 for the whole set. I think they're made in Germany too. And IL Motorsport. And these are a custom fit. So basically replace the OEM splash guards. But like I said, it had front splash guards, but no rear splash guards. So now I have splash guards for both front and rear. It's not a look that everybody agrees with, but you know, I think I like it. So for the exhaust gaskets, I went with Bosel. You have a multiple choice answer there. You get Bosel, they've got Felpro, there's a few other companies that make gaskets, but I've always preferred Bosel. I've had better luck with their parts overall. Their exhaust components anyway. I generally don't buy Felpro gaskets unless it's the only option. I just have a personal thing against Felpro because I've had horrible luck with them. They always seem to be the lowest possible quality imaginable. I don't want to knock Felpro that much, but you know what it is they're the ones that you go to the local auto parts store, and that's what they have it in the back. You know, the old Felpro. I just don't like their products. I don't know. I've always had problems with them. But anyways, so I also picked up some shorter bolts. These are 25mm, and these are going to be these are too long. So we went with these. We're going to go with I got some lock nuts like that. These are what they call all steel lock nuts. Basically, they have deformed threads at the end, so they lock onto the bolt as you thread it on. They're not as likely to vibrate loose. The original nuts, what they would do is they would actually these aren't the ones I'm looking for, but the original exhaust nuts, which is what we put back over here on the header, they are deformed for the same reason. They do the same thing. They're designed to lock onto the stud, so they don't vibrate loose. That's the idea, anyway. I'm also going to put some lock nuts, or lock washers, sorry, on these bolts. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to get my my heater going. I'm going to warm up this garage. I've got the doors open to ventilate the fumes from this freaking PB Blaster shit. PB Blaster has the worst smell. And it just gets into everything and it smells awful. But it works. So they say. Anyway. Once I get the exhaust buttoned up, we can then focus on some of the other stuff we have to do. I'm probably going to mount those front fender flares, those front splash guards, because I won't need to go under the car anymore, so I don't need to worry about the clearance. According to the tracking information, my suspension parts may be stuck in Tennessee, I believe. Right now, FedEx is having a major problem in the Midwest, and that looks like where my parts are for the suspension. So, you know, shit happens. Okay, on with it. I just want to give you guys a visual of the working conditions in which I have to put myself. There is about less than a foot from here to there. I feel like I'm mining coal. That's what you gotta do when you decide to work in a car. See, I didn't want my jack stands to be ratcheted up at all. These are at their lowest setting. They cannot collapse. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but there's been a lot of recalls for jack stands lately. And these are AC Delco brand, but they're probably no different than the ones that Harbor Freight has been peddling. So, yeah. Anyway, I had to buy a new drill bit because if you recall, the 3/4 inch was no good. It was a 25/64. It is the very next size up from a 3/8. Did I say 3/4? them in 3/8. So let me squeeze under here. And you know what? Before I do that, I'm going to get myself set up with some tools. See, look at this. Okay, I am having to squeeze my entire body in a space that even this DeWalt drill won't fit in, see? Kind of like that. Okay. Oh, if you have access to a lift, tomorrow would be the day to be thankful for that. Oops. Dumbass. Okay. Oh. Let's see if we can get this drilled. There we go. I might have to run out and buy the next size up, to be honest with you. Okay. Let's see if our bolts fit now. Here they are. Okay. Let's see what we got. Okay, that was the right size. Now, let's see, you guys can see what I got going on here. All right, so there's, yeah, the bolts are gonna have to go in this way. Oh, those are too short. Or what if I ditch that? There we go. I don't think I need that anyway. And then I take my, there should be some lock nuts here. There's one. And then as we screw it together, okay. Now what I got to do is I got to get that gasket in there. Still in the package. There it is. Let's get the drill out of here. We don't have room for it. I'm hoping that no shavings ended up inside the cat, but it shouldn't be that big a deal. I mean, it's not great if it happened, but you know, because it will definitely block the honeycomb. Me want honeycomb, and you know, it's just not good for things. Let's get this. I'm trying to, I can't pull my arm over my head to do this. Yeah, there should be a day called Auto Lift Appreciation Day. But I can do this one-handed, I promise. You guys can't see anything, can you? No, because I can't fit a tripod under here. Let's see if I can, yeah, maybe position this a little better, so that we can all see what we're doing. Easier done than said, right? The camera's taking up the space that I need for my hands and fucking... Oh, damn it, I'm stuck. All right. Sorry. Okay. That works. All right, let's get this gasket in place here. I'm going to back that screw out just a bit. A little more than that. But these are too short. I'll put the longer ones back in, but I think these are going to be too short. Let's see. Let's get that. There we go. Come on now. Come on, yo. I'm trying to do this one-handed and unable to see what the friggin' hell I'm doing. There we go. I guess those lock washers won't fit. They don't really do anything anyway. Who are we kidding? They're just there for fun. Moral support, if anything else. Okay, there we go. That's in. Okay, get that lined up. Get that lined up. And we're going to take our vice grips and we're going to vice grip it. Here we go. Whee. but I gotta put them up a bit. There we are. Oh, I can't do this with one hand, man. Let's open them up a little more. Okay. Let's try that again. No, huh? More dice. There we go. Okay, these bolts are too short. They're way too short. So we're gonna have to use the original Plan A ones. So that's that. Yeah, these aren't gonna cut it. Alright, that's okay. I didn't return the other bolts. So, alrighty. Alright folks, I'm back from the hardware store. Let's see what's gonna work. So we determined that what were those? How many millimeters? Yeah, looks like these are going to be too long. So, 25 millimeter. That's going to be the Goldilocks sweet spot right there. Oh, it just launched it at me. Okay, let's get these washers back. And gosh, I wish I could get the bolt in the other way, but I can't on account of the freaking heat shield. It's in the way. So we're gonna go like that. We're gonna go like this. So yeah, I should probably return some of those bolts, but you know, whatever. I've got a whole collection going now. This is so much easier when you have a lift. Yeah. I think it goes without saying. Or safe without going. One or the other. Where are the bolts? Nuts. There's the nuts. Let's see. Yeah, that should be adequate. Probably gonna have to take that washer out. Seriously, this is like freaking nuts. I'm telling you right now. Because the factory wants you to use studs. We're not using studs. So screw them. We're using nuts and bolts. Ow! I just whacked my head against something and it was hard and it hurt. Oh my god, if there's any... I can see it now. I'm going to be watching TV and they're going to steal this footage for a Meineke commercial. Oh god. No, that's what's going to happen. Okay. Where did it go? Meineke. Or Midas or whatever. Whatever floats your boat. Whatever your prevailing muffler shop choice is in your neighborhood. This is why you hire the pros down at the Meineke. Or Midas. Or Jiffy Muffler or whatever. Come on down to Jiffy Muffler. Don't be like this guy. Okay. Okay. Now we're getting somewheres. Was that this one? Does anybody know where my mommy is? Is it this guy? Yes. Okay. There should be another nut down here besides the one behind the camera. So split washers were a no-go. What the hell? What's the other nut? Oh, is it in this bag? No? It's not in the bag? Where the hell is it? Ugh. There it is. I see it. I can't reach it. Can you? It's way the hell over there. How the hell am I going to get that? With this? Ooh, just maybe. Come to mama. I mean, dada, come to dada. Come on now. There it is. Jesus Christ! Oh, I just lost the evangelical viewers.
You use the holy name in vain, you son of a bitch.
Come on! Oh, Jesus, this camera's becoming more of a curse every day. It's always in my freaking way. That is you call Meineke. Quality service, quality parts, and a warranty to match. Down at the Meineke. Come on, yo. Oh, get in there, you son of a bitch. Jesus Christ. Is it even just what the? Wait, did I grab the wrong bolt? Or no, I didn't. No, I think it's threading on. It's just okay. Yeah, there we are. I think I grabbed the wrong bolt. I think I agreed that we were going to use the shorter of the two, and I grabbed. No, that's the right one. Sure, it goes in all the way though. Yeah, it does. Then we're gonna. Yeah, that happened. Okay. There we are. There we are. Okay. Trying to chew and walk gum here. Just don't freaking turn. Hey, Ben Pack, send me a mid-rise lift. You gave one to Tyler Hoover and Freddie Fernandez or Tavares. You gave them to. You gave a lift to the Car Wizard. Help a brother out, huh? Please, Ben Pack. Be my hero. I can't really fit one in my garage anyway. It's too small. Alright. Let's get it. Oh, damn it. Oh, the hell. This may be the most entertaining video I've ever made. And I'm going to keep it all unedited for your viewing pleasure. Happy Thanksgiving. Is it threading? Is it threading? Is it threading? Is it threading? I think so. Oh, this is such a compromising freaking position. Jesus.
Why don't you raise the car?
Shut up. Oh, God. I've made some poor life choices, I tell you what. Maybe I should be the one who owns a multi-billion-dollar burger chain so I can pay other people to fix my shit. Nah, what's the fun of that? Okay. Alright. I can now, I'm at a point now where I can tighten it from the other side. So I don't have to sit under this freaking car. Oh boy. But there you go. Let's switch sides here. What did I do? What did I press? Okay, guys, this is what I'm up against. Look at this. I can't even breathe in fully. Otherwise, look at this. This is what these are the conditions that I'm actually working in, and this bright is light. Damn it. But I was a little further under to see where where's the, that's the heater. Okay. There's the muffler. Look at there you go. There's the cat. That's what we're trying to get together. And I am wedged under this car. If it, in fact, let's say something went horribly wrong, and the jack stands and the jack failed my backup. That's the jack right there. That's just for moral support, just in case something horribly goes wrong. If that were to go, so would I. Okay. No! Let's see if I can get out of here. Now, to get out of here, I have to lift this spindle. Oh, damn it. Now it's resting on my chest. Here I go. Oopsie daisy. Oh. Okay. Oh, there's the heater. Oh, yes. Precious heat. I'm gonna scoot across the floor. Oh my god. This sucks. This really sucks. Okay. Now, here's the other side of it. We've got to torque and tighten those bolts. So the bolts are just the right length. They reach the malformed thread. So the locking effect should be able to take effect. That's where I just want to make sure it's in frame. The light is now working against me, so I'm gonna have to drag that over. All right. Okay. Okay, kids. Ooh. Alright. The wrenches. And we can now tighten the flange with relative ease. That's the wrong way. Wrong way. Asshole. There we are. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to do a little bit on each side, a little bit at a time. Just a little bit here, a little bit there. You don't want to crush the gasket all the way on one side and then do the other. That's how you get a leak. At least that's what my old man taught me. But he's old, so you never know. Kids today might have a better way of doing things. I don't think so, but... Okay. I can't really feel where that wrench... Oh, there we go. Ah, yes. Now if I could just hold that position. Relativeness. Evenness. There we are. Come on. There we go. Oh, it's slipping off. You bitch. Just call Meineke. They'll treat you right. Oh, god damn. This is awful. There we go. I can't get to the other side. That's the problem. See, I have to nail it from the other side so the wrench isn't in, the bulk of the socket set. You know what I'm saying. The frickin' ratchet. This shit isn't in the way. But that's not happening for me. Yeah, see? What I ought to do... See, there's no way I'm going to get my torque wrench in here. That's not going to happen. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. Ow! my back. A wire from my wire wheel that flew off the wire wheel thing. It just hit me in the back. And boy, does that hurt. Let's try it this way. Okay. My Lord. All right. Maybe I should try a... That's pretty friggin' tight, huh? Oh boy. Yeah, I can feel a wire in my back. You know, when those things fly apart, as they often do, and you just get one of those wires just right in the back. Oh, here it is. I found it. Check this out. This is what was jabbing me. This right here. You like that? Yeah, I do too. Now what I want to do is I want to start the motor. I want to start the engine. You know, press my luck and all. And just verify that we fixed the leak. You know, just confirm. You know, you see the flange isn't perfectly flat. It's got a bit of a curve to it. But I think we're going to be okay. Maybe that's why most people replace these stupid things. Alright, let's get it right. Stay there. Okay. I don't know how much tighter I can go with it. Alright, let's start her up. What do you say? Yay? Nay? We still got this one to do. But that one, I can't get to it. There's just no effing way. I'm going to have to do that with the back end lifted up, and then we'll deal with it. And that's the only other flange, as far as I know. So. Okay. This has been fun. Ready? Put it in neutral. Thought just occurred to me. A thought just occurred to me that I think I should have the O2 sensor installed before I start the engine. That might help a little bit. Okay, I think we should start the engine and see if we have any exhaust leaks. I think we do. I had it running earlier, and I could hear a little bit of something going on, and I think I know where it is too. But before we do that, I installed the fender flares, the new mud guards. These are really nice. They look a lot better on this car than the universal aftermarket ones that were on it. And then once I put the rears on, it's just going to complete the look. Now, whether you like the look of splash guards or not, they do provide some protection to the paint from small pebbles and things. I put them on all of my cars, in fact, because they really actually do work. So you can see there's a lot of scratching on this fender. This is from me working over the hood, or over the fender. I should have put a towel down. The car is getting buffed anyway. I'm not really that worried about it. Anyway, so I got this right here. This is a paper towel, and we're going to use it to try to find the leak if there is one. But I believe that the exhaust manifold gasket is leaking, and you can tell there's a telltale mark. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but there's a little black spot right there. And that is usually an indicator of an exhaust leak, when you start to see soot forming around the gaskets or outside of them. It doesn't sound like a typical leak where it goes, or it's like a tapping sound, and not a lifter tap. The two sounds are completely different. but I don't hear anything that indicates a manifold leak. But let's just start it up and see. Now, another little trick. I did replace, as you know, you saw me do it. I replaced the downpipe gasket at the flange. If that still leaks, there is a trick that doesn't require you to remove the world. You just put a second gasket. So you get two brand new gaskets, and you put them on there, and then bolt it together. That is a way to prevent or to stop that. If it is leaking again, I don't think it is, but because the alternative is to pull the manifold and the header, and then remove the studs, of course, and then you want to surface grind or sand both surfaces flat again. I'm not doing that. It's a lot of work. If the manifold gasket's leaking, now this is another thing. If the manifold gasket is leaking, what can happen is it'll go away. The leak it'll start out faint, usually when the engine's cold, and then as it warms up, the manifold heats up and it closes that leak. I don't really want to jump in and do a manifold gasket right now because there's a lot involved. Most of it happens, well, here's the thing. The inevitable reality when you're doing a manifold gasket is that you're going to break a stud. And they're not fun to remove. I've done it before. I've done it on 2 cars before, and it was just, it's almost like an Indiana Jones moment. You know, is it going to break off even further into the head? Am I going to have to chase the threads? Am I going to have to pull the head and have the, you know, I don't like doing it. I'm not an auto mechanic by trade, so I don't take joy in doing stuff like that. Not that oh shit, I just whacked the door into the bench. Don't do that. Okay. Alright, I got my my scientifically, for God's sake. Alright, so let's just get her started up and let's see what it sounds like. Now, oh, my back is killing me from yesterday. Absolutely. Oh my God. Make sure we're neutral. Here we go. Okay, that lifter noise, that'll go away in a second. That is normal. Alright. We have a leak here. We don't. No, there's no leak here. I would feel it right now, I don't hear any leaks either. Then again, that lifter is pissing me off. See if we can rev it out. Of course it has to do it now. But I don't hear any leaks at all. Come on, lifter, go away. Okay, lifter noise died. Yeah, there's no leaks. It's actually quieter than it was before. Yeah, sounds perfect. And the exhaust smell that I'm smelling right now is catalyzed. You can tell there's a difference between non-catalyzed exhaust and raw exhaust. I don't smell any raw exhaust. That's a dead giveaway. And I would smell it right here and I don't. I think we're good. Yeah, so the exhaust, this is important to note because exhaust coming from the catalytic converter and exhaust coming out of the header, totally different smell. The catalyzed exhaust has almost a sweet smell to it. I don't hear any exhaust leaks at all. No, we're in good shape. Nothing underneath. I did have to go back and retorque that flange in the middle. I started it up earlier last night when I had done the repairs. And what I noticed was it was leaking a little bit at the cat. Yeah, I smell nothing but catalyzed exhaust, so There's nothing going on here. This engine's healthy as a horse. There's just a light valve clatter. You're going to get that on an engine like this. Now these actually always, probably since the day they were built, they've always had valve noise, from what I've heard. It comes and goes. Now, that was a success. Get down up in here. Now, all I feel is heat radiating off the pipe, and that's it. Oh, little side note. I went ahead and I ordered some lower ball joints for this car. They are so easy to do at this stage in the game. All I need is a ball joint separator and a little pickle fork thing. Engine sounds great. Okay. Okay. So that's nice. So great success, and we can move on with our lives. So all that I got to do now, I'm waiting for my new shocks, and I'm waiting for my brakes. I've got an entire crate of stuff on its way here from Parts Geek. Now, I've been buying from Parts Geek, and I've had very good luck with them. I got to be honest with you. From all the part suppliers I bought from in the past, Parts Geek seems to be the fastest and most responsive, and they're not sponsoring this or anything. I just when I get good service, I try to talk about it a little bit in the project video, because really, you know, their parts are you know, as with any part supplier, you have to go with their mid-tier or higher parts. For example, they offer a lot of aftermarket parts that are basically no-name, flash-in-the-pan names. Like, for example, they have suspension components from a company called Movotech or something like that. I've opted not to buy any of those parts because after reading some reviews, I've heard that they're actually quite poorly made. Moog used to be the place to go for parts, especially ball joints. My dad would always buy Moog, but Moog has really, they've been bought and sold so many times that they're basically the Fram of suspension parts, it seems. I mean, that's the way they're headed anyway. So as it comes to ball joints, I actually didn't buy them from Parts Geek, but I bought them from the dealer. They were $67 a piece, which is about what you'd pay for a Moog. And I'm doing both lower ball joints on both sides. But getting back to Parts Geek, you know, they sell parts from a variety of manufacturers. They're basically like another Rock Auto. You know, they have their good, their better, and their best. And you just don't want to buy their low-end stuff. You know, with brakes, I went with genuine Bosch brakes, pads and rotors. With the shocks, you know, they sell shocks. I could have had 4 shocks for the price of basically one retail priced KYB shock. And you don't want to do that because the amount of work involved in doing shocks isn't worth spending less money on a cheaper part. Unless you're selling the car and you don't care and you want to save money wherever you can, then you're going to buy the cheap shocks. You're going to buy the Monroes or the, you know, whatever brand shocks that they offer for discounted prices. But I went with KYB all around. I went with KYB shock mounts and KYB shock bellows, and I tried to stick with the manufacturers that are known and trusted, specifically with the parts they supply for the Miata product or for the Miata line, because what works best for others may work best for you. One thing I would caution against, and this isn't based on personal experience in all full disclosure, but oxygen sensors. You don't want to go cheap on oxygen sensors. I did that. The car hasn't run right since. I bought a walker. That's what's in the car right now. This is the original Nippon Denso oxygen sensor, and I think it's still good. Actually, I'm sure it's perfectly fine. But I took it out because it's 30 years old and 26 years old, and it's got 60,000 miles on it. But I decided to put a new O2 sensor in there, and I bought a walker. Unwittingly, I didn't realize I was buying a walker. I thought I was buying an OEM, and I bought it from Mazda Miata, of all places. But the car hasn't really run right since. It's just something about it. It just isn't right. I think it's actually running a little bit richer. In fact, the oxygen sensor that's in there now, the walker, it has soot building up around it. So for whatever reason, it's telling the computer to run rich. Why that is, I don't know. So I went ahead and I ordered a Nippon Denso from, where did I buy that? Was it Parts Geek? I think I bought it from Parts Geek. So the OEM Nippon Denso with the plug. I don't deal with the universals. You can use universal sensors. That's totally fine. But I stick with the OEM ones. I don't want to have any splices in my wires, just for posterity or whatever. But anyway, so we're good up here. We're getting there. Just now I got to wait a little bit longer. My parts are in limbo due to shipping issues with FedEx, so that's a whole other thing. But that's okay, because I have all the time in the world to finish this car. Seriously, winter's coming. It's raining right now, but that's pure luck. We could be having snow. So the only time, so I will test drive this car when it's back together only if it hasn't snowed yet and they haven't salted the roads. If they salted the roads, all bets are off. We're going to have to wait until spring. So I'm kind of hoping those parts come soon so I can get this thing test driven just to make sure we're good and make sure there's nothing else I got to do. But that's the life of the backyard mechanic. You just have to sit and play the waiting game. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Hopefully I get this video uploaded today, and I hope you guys have a fantastic Thanksgiving. Whatever your plans are, stay safe. We are dealing with a global pandemic. The infection rate has risen substantially. I'm going to tell you right now, both of my parents have coronavirus right now. So I will not be enjoying Thanksgiving with them. They're good. They're safe. They're healthy. They're not having any issues. So thank God for that. They're not the young. I mean, they're not very old, but they're not the youngest either. I mean, they're not even 60 yet. So neither of them, my dad or my mom. But they both have coronavirus, and they're having a Thanksgiving alone. Actually, no, with my sister because they live with her, she lives with them. But so they're not alone, but I am not going to be making a visit today. So my girlfriend and I, we're going to have a little Thanksgiving dinner tonight or this afternoon with her mother, who happens to work with we all work in the same place. So it's like, whatever. Let's just have her mom over, and why not have her aunts over too? They're fine. So we're going to have a little Thanksgiving at the house. First one here. And that'll be fun. And we're gonna have just gonna be a different kind of holiday. You know, Christmas is gonna be rough for a lot of people, and for those of you who may not have anyone to spend with the holidays, I hope you enjoy my vast library of videos, or just do something to keep your mind occupied and stay positive. But we've all been there. So. It's a rough time for a lot of people. I know that for sure, especially around Christmas time. And when you're locked down in a pandemic situation, and the people that you do have in your life, they can't come visit, you can't visit them, or you don't feel safe doing so, it just makes it harder emotionally and eventually physically. So once again, happy Thanksgiving from my channel to you. And it's getting cold. You can see my breath. All right. 30 degrees. I think it's like 32 degrees right now. Yeah, it's cold. Okay, no, it can't be. It's raining. What is it? Probably like 40. Enough rambling.